Use your God power. Get everything you ever wanted and live the life of your dreams. The Master's Course. Copyright 2010 by Richard Lee McKim Jr. All rights reserved. Let the quest for knowing begin. Your emotional volume. You have learned in the last segment that your emotions are a powerful help to guide you on the path that you have decided on. They are always guiding you according to your own plan. Now you will learn that they have another powerful ability. They control the volume switch on your frequencies and the resulting resonant power that they have. Remember the frequency vibration on the rice video example in Chapter 4 of Frequencies and Meaning. When the frequency first started, the rice began to form its pattern. It takes a certain amount of time for the pattern to form, but it always forms exactly the same way for the same frequency. If the volume is low, the pattern takes a little longer to form. However, if the volume is turned up full blast, the pattern can form almost instantly. Volume doesn't change the frequency, only its power. The more volume, the more powerful the creation, but it is still the same creation, just more powerfully enacted.
For best results, pause this video at this point here, and watch the video example mentioned in the segment. The links are located in the book chapter, and at the end of the book. If you are watching this online, you will find the link for this video example listed in the notes section. Then, after watching the associated video example, continue watching this video from here.
Remember the glass resonating experiment in the video example in Chapter 5, Resonance, the secret matchmaking force of the universe, where the frequency shattered the glass? If the volume had been very low, it still would have vibrated the glass and elicited a response. However, the response elicited would have been minimal, and the glass would have been able to vibrate forever at that level. However, when the volume was turned up and the frequency still remained the same, a much greater response was elicited from the glass. It was forced by resonance to begin to actually bend and flex to such a degree that it eventually shattered itself. That is the power of volume. High emotional volume can make people bend over backwards to help you or bend over backwards to hurt you. It all depends on whether you have turned up the good or the bad emotional volume. Like the guitar, if you gently pluck the first guitar on string number 3, which sounds like this, the string number 3 on the other guitar will be elicited into a response. But it might be so slight and so subtle that you may have to put your finger on the string or use some special high-powered measuring device to detect it. However, if you blasted that same exact frequency through your high-powered stereo system, not only would the string on the other guitar vibrate so powerfully that you could see it vibrating, but other strings that don't even resonate at that frequency will be elicited into action by the power of the sound vibrations. Your walls will shake and everything will be vibrating. That is the power of volume.
For best results, pause this video at this point here, and watch the video example mentioned in the segment. The links are located in the book chapter, and at the end of the book. If you are watching this online, you will find the link for this video example listed in the notes section. Then, after watching the associated video example, continue watching this video from here.
That is the best way to explain this other aspect of your emotions. Your emotions are like a volume control on your creations. If your emotional level is low, you might say that your creation and resonant power levels are low. You could elicit opportunities and situations into your experience, but you may have to really look to see them. They will not be vibrating in a big, powerful way. However, if your emotional level is extremely high, an opportunity might actually crash into you. I mean that literally. Let's look at this illustration. Okay, in the first illustration, we have a positive, really feel good, high emotional level volume. It elicits a greater and more powerful positive response from the universe. Now, in looking at this illustration, we have a man with a really big green tuning fork on his mind. And he's thinking really powerful, great, positive, excited, ecstatic, enthusiastic, emotional thoughts. He is really excited about the situation. Now, if you look at it, he's eliciting from his environment, there's doors there. There's 3 green positive doors, but they're huge. And they're really being activated. Because when you're thinking very powerfully, emotionally, very powerfully, you elicit very powerfully. Now here on the other side of the illustration, you see there's a volume switch. And the volume switch is turned way up. Got way high emotional volume. When you have high emotional volume, you get high response. When you're really, really excited about a project, and you really, really are enthusiastic about something, doesn't it elicit more action from other people? Don't they get excited about it too? Don't they want to help? Throw in money on the deal, or throw in time, or do whatever? Don't they get excited and want to help? But if you got a really low kind of, ho-hum, could be, maybe, just a kind of a nonchalant feeling about the idea of the project, that doesn't elicit any kind of response from people. They might want to help, but they're not enthusiastic about it. They don't go out of their way. High, powerful, positive, emotional feeling is high volume frequency. It's the same frequency as the low volume. Now here we look down here at the positive, feel-good, low emotional volume. You see the doors are very tiny. And the tuning fork, it's in his mind, is very tiny. And the volume switch is way down. And it says here, in both of these cases, the frequency has stayed the same. It's thinking about the same thing. The same things are being elicited from the universe. But the difference is the volume or the power of the frequency, which determines how fast it will come and how big the elicited response will be when it shows up. Now, with the tiny doors, I think I'm going to find a job. I'm looking for one. You might have to look in papers and the jobs kind of stand out. The good ones kind of stand out. You kind of notice them because you're eliciting them. But because your emotional volume is so tiny about it, it's positive, but it's tiny. You might spot something, or you might mention it to a friend, and they might mention something. But with the high emotional, hey, I'm going to get a job, or I got this great idea, and all this kind of thing. Man, you know what? People call you. They say, hey, I was just thinking about you. You say, man, I can't believe you called me. I got this idea. You're just the person I need to talk to. That's how it works. You elicit a more powerful response from the universe on the same frequency. It's the same thing, but it's much more powerful. Someone might call you to give you a job. Someone might call you to give you some money. Someone might call you to give you some help. Whereas with the tiny emotional, the lack of enthusiasm on your part might mean that you might have to go knock on their door. You might still get it, but it's not going to be to the degree if you had a higher emotional volume. Emotional volume is a powerful thing. Now, if you have a positive emotional situation, you want to crank that volume to the top. Do it. Crank it to the top. Feel great. Get excited about what you're doing. Feel enthusiastic about what you're doing. Get excited about it. Because as you do, you're going to think of greater ideas. People are going to come to you. The situations are going to fall at your feet. You're going to see all the options clearly, big and bright and powerful. But if you're kind of ho-hum about it and kind of, not giving it too much thought and positive, yeah, I'm positive, I'm going to get one, or I got an idea, I'm positive about it. Well, you know what? It may take you a long time to get that put together.
To continue, go to How to Use Your God Power, chapter number 11, segment number 6. Let your quest for knowing continue.